It is another day of Vlogmas. It is day 13?
I think 12. 13, you're right.
13. I had too much fun last night, but it's actually snowing outside. If you look really close, you can see it's a little flecks coming down. And I am actually headed to get eyelash extensions for the first time in a very long time. So I'll show you guys after this. Sorry, I have really dark circles today. This is the before. And I'll show you the after. I just got back and it is snowing, but I wanted to show y'all what the lashes look like. I don't know. Oh, there we go. I love them. It's been like 4 months. I took a long break and I am so happy. Birthday lashes. Today was the absolute craziest day ever, and I'm gonna tell you about it after I finish this vegetarian sloppy joe situation. To be continued. Okay, so Vlogmas got a little bit messed up this week.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Here, wait, come over here.
Okay, come in.
And I wanted to do a video to kind of explain, I don't know if some of y'all saw my stories, and there was a dog that went missing, and if you don't know who that dog is, we're gonna explain everything in a second. But yeah, basically it was like Thursday was all like great and we were having a chill day at home, and then we were taking Duke and Puka, which is Abby's dog, for a walk. And I'm gonna let Abby tell the rest of the story now.
I don't know how much I can tell. I might start crying again. But we were taking the dogs on a walk, and because we were gonna go move the Volvo.
We can laugh now, but let me just tell you, on Thursday we were not laughing.
I had like a complete and total mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Noelle saw me at my worst.
It was,
yeah.
It was not cute.
So we were walking.
For either one of us.
And it was like a chill walk. Puka is always like a little crazy. She just really likes to explore.
Well, she's 6 months old.
Yeah.
So she's like a true puppy.
Baby.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's important.
yeah. And next thing I know, we're like standing there, because I think Puka was like peeing or something. And Noelle just like calmly looks at me and she goes,
it's like when you're about to like, someone's about to like have a car accident, you don't want to scream.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you're about to hit that car. And so they can like correct themselves before, like, that was like my thinking. And I was just like, Abby, Puka's leash isn't connected to her harness. And then it was like right when you went to bend down, because it was like slow motion.
Yeah, I was literally like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then she just books it.
It was like literally right as you like bend down. It's like she realized and she took, excuse my lingo, we'll beep that out. She took off, like literally just took off.
And she's probably like what, like this big. She's
oh my
long,
god, if even
she's like so tiny.
She's so tiny.
And
I can't believe she's 10 pounds though, that's crazy.
She's 10 pounds, but she runs
She looks like 7 pounds.
Fast. Like, I thought that like Duke ran fast that day, that he got off his leash.
Well, because she's so small,
but
it's
like a bullet.
Well, yeah, like, it's like, because she's so small, it's like it's like, she doesn't, I feel like Duke was running in a straight line. Yeah. She was like really, she was weaving, which is how she walks in the first place, I think, just from being a puppy.
She's so excited
about everything. She smells stuff, yeah, and was moving around. But so then we're chasing her. And everybody, like even construction men are like, literally, they're like, oh my god, the little dog, like. Everybody's stopping to try and grab her because she's running into straight traffic at this point. Just like, she basically ran the way home. So in my head, I'm like, she's going home, it's gonna be fine, she's gonna be there at the door, I'm just gonna pick her up and she'll be great. I kept thinking she was definitely gonna go to one of our apartments, so I was like, okay. Because she does that, like if we're on our way back from like a walk, she knows the way. She like tries running. She like tries running to go home. Or like if it's just me and her, she like runs to Noelle's because she's like, we're gonna go see Duke. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, she's gonna run there. Or I even thought that she would run back to like us and Duke. Yeah. Like I thought, because she clearly thought it was like a game. She clearly thought that it was like. Yeah, in the beginning she was like excited. Like she didn't seem that scared. She was like, in the beginning. She was like, oh, we're running. She like. Yeah, and it's a really hard thing because obviously everyone says don't chase after your dog, but I feel like what else are you gonna do? Yeah, like what are you gonna do? Just I mean, especially like if there's a small chance that someone's gonna hit your dog and you can jump in the way and stop them. Obviously you're gonna like run after your dog to try to stop anything like that from happening. And I feel like that's the annoying thing, is anyone that hasn't had this happen to them is always like, don't chase them, don't chase them. Or don't scream at them. And I'm like, no, she needs to hear me. She needs to know that I'm like freaking out. Because Puka knows like when I'm like upset. And she like dogs just know. Yeah. And like also I think anyone's natural reaction, like if your kid was running away into traffic, you'd probably be screaming. Oh yeah. But we're not having kids after this day. Never. So we chased her like all the way basically to outside of our buildings, and then I have like a million people being like, is that your dog? Like obviously it was my dog. I like had her leash, I was screaming, and they're like, is that your dog? Is that your dog? She went that way, she went that way. She like went up to Manhattan. I think that was like the thing too that was really annoying, is like obviously everyone was saying she went like different ways, so I feel like we didn't know where to look, this was like a long time I think it was like 40 minutes in between when she first took off and like people seeing her going different directions. And well, and that was the thing, is I kept saying, how long ago did you see her? And some people were like, no, I just saw her. And I'm like, are you sure? Yeah. And like, did you see her 10 minutes ago or did you just see her? Yeah. And I feel like for me, that's what kept happening, is I kept seeing glimpses of her where I would run down one road, she'd be there, but then she'd be gone. Yeah. And then I like lost like complete sight of her. I didn't have my cell phone, so like I couldn't even contact Noelle. And then somehow we both end up right outside our apartment at this like auto shop. This was like 40 minutes later. Like 40 minutes after the initial like, you know, and I feel like, you know, 40-45 minutes passing by, you kind of don't, you're like, someone already found the dog, or like you don't expect to like see the dog, because I was just like hoping that someone had already cornered her or something. And the fact that like we both saw her, well, I literally was like, okay, she's okay, because they like, yeah, no, I could tell like, this was like a sigh of relief for me. It was like gated, so I was like, she's in there, we're gonna get her. And I was like, it's gonna be fine. And the guy like didn't close his gate. Yeah, he just I'm literally looking at it. I know, now. I am too. So I'm like looking over. And like every time I go out in the streets, I relive it. I'm not joking. I took Duke on a walk earlier, and I like heard myself screaming in my head. Like I thought I heard someone screaming. I thought it was you. No, it wasn't me. But I thought about that too. I was like, Noelle's probably scared too. Like she's probably like waiting for a text or something to be like. No, well, every single time Duke goes out, I kind of am. But I feel like no, we definitely both are. Yeah, but I also think that like the only way that you're gonna get over something is by, you know, like going and doing it. And I think it's a little easier if it's not your dog at first, and then when it is your dog. I think it did help, because I still haven't taken Puka out. Sigh. Yeah. Well, but sounds bad, but like. So back to the story. Yeah. Is like this guy. I'll describe. It's like an auto shop. So they just have like a gated fence. I guess what was like a chain fence, like a gated chained driveway. And there's basically enough space for a car to fit through to drive in. And I don't know why, but I thought they'd closed it. And Puka, you can tell, like, this is no longer a game. Like,
no,
she's
scared.
She's, like, really scared. The way she's barking at the guy was, like, very, you know, she was, like, leave me alone. Like, it was very, like, protective. And I think it was freaking him out because it seemed like she was, like, you know,
but
maybe would bite him. She's so small that she couldn't really do anything.
Bite you, like, it wouldn't.
Yeah. But, so, I feel like that was, like, happening, and I was just like, oh my god. And then I don't really remember this part very well, but it was like she just started taking off like this away, and
to another main road.
Yeah, to another main road. And he was like chasing after her. This other guy was chasing after her.
They were going so fast. Like, and at this point, like, I could not run anymore. Like, I had so many asthma attacks that day. I was like out of it. I like couldn't keep going.
Yeah.
And like even Noelle was like you were going more than I was at that point, but like you were still like, you had Duke still.
I was, yeah, and I don't have asthma attacks. I feel like that helped me a little bit.
I was like like, and I was also like bawling my head off. Like,
yeah. What? And then after like kind of running, I was like, I couldn't decide if having Duke was a good thing or a bad thing. So then we end up like, Duke and I were still like walking around because I'm like, all right, if she's gonna come up to Duke, it's probably gonna be when we're walking, not when we're running. So I just started walking around, just like saying Puka, like really like Puka and Cookie and like things like that.
Because it was after this point where we officially lost sight of her.
Yeah, we didn't know, no one had seen her.
She ran around a corner and then that was it. Like, she was gone.
Yeah, no one had seen her.
She was like,
we were asking people, like we were giving our number to people, and no one had seen her. And then we it started raining. I remember this because I just remember it was getting darker because this was like more, we had originally lost her like 2:45, and then by this point it was like, you know, almost, it was like 4:15, and you could just see like it was raining and like you could hardly see anymore. I had to go change my glasses
she
because
hates rain. Because in my head I was like, she's hiding somewhere.
Yeah.
I like got her favorite toy, we got treats, and I was like, if she's still out here, she's hiding because she hates being in the water. Yeah. And so we went up and down these streets
for so long. So long.
For 7.5 miles.
Like, probably I'll insert the photo of my foot for dedication here.
Oh god.
Should I? I don't know. It's pretty gross. But then at this point, like Abby was like so distraught that I was like, I feel like I was just kind of like, I'm gonna like leave you for a little bit because I was just I was wandering, just screaming, like which is good, but I feel like, so then I started texting like some people that we know that also have dogs because I felt like they would, shout out to Addison, Rachel, Chris.
Saved my life.
Hi.
Y'all saved my life.
So they come out, and Rachel and Chris like went to the park because I was like, she, you know, would maybe follow the scent of a dog or go to somewhere that was familiar to her, but then she wasn't at the park, and they kind of like walked back, and then after talking to Danny, like I had them start putting Craigslist stuff online. I was putting stuff online. I put stuff on my stories online, and just anything to be like, if you've seen this dog, if you have any information, because someone might already, at this point I was like, someone probably has her. And especially after the rain, like knowing that she didn't like rain, I was like, she had to have gone up to someone, and we hadn't seen her like dart around anywhere after that.
They were on the bright side. They were like, someone found her, and I was like, she's dead. Like, I'm never gonna see her again.
Well, yeah, and I was being realistic too. Like, I had like the guy of the group like go make sure that there weren't like any like dead animals anywhere or anything like that, just because obviously we needed to know like what, for peace of mind for Abby, like what had happened. And so we start putting like, you know, numbers everywhere, and then Abby and Addison had gone to Staples to get more paper, because like they only had like 100 pieces of paper. I was like, no, we need like 1,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're going on every single pole, like everywhere around here. And so they left, and then Rachel, I came inside and I was like getting some tape to like start putting it by my apartment, because in my mind I was like, Puka might just come back to one of our apartments.
We put food out like at each of our apartments to like lure her maybe.
Yeah. And then Rachel Evanishin called me, Jag Lover, and she was like, so someone just called me and they say that they have Puka, and she was like, don't tell Abby because I don't want her to go through that if it's not Puka, which I agreed with. Just after, especially like the gate thing, and it was like, you thought that she was like there. I was just like, no.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let's go make sure that it's her and see, and then after that, you know, like,
go from there.
Yeah, call Abby from there. So Rachel and I was trying to get an Uber to go there. Rachel's walking there, and then the minute that like I can see that it's Puka, I was just like, oh my effing god. And I was just like, I don't know. I feel like I was just like so relieved for
that
you.
phone call was like the best feeling in the world.
Like when I was like, we have her and she's okay, and you were like,
I just I freaked out. Like, Addison saw a lot of me that night. Like, because I went through like stages of grief, stages of like shock. I was like
well, so mind you, so just for a time frame's sake, it was 2:45 that she basically ran away, and then at 8 is whenever like the person, like 7:45, 8 is whenever the person called to say that they had Puka. And the best part is that, so that was like 5 hours.
Yeah.
So the best part is that they literally found her literally like a block and a half away from where we live. Like, literally right there.
Yeah, right around the corner.
So,
and it was weird because we all had a feeling that she was like over there. We all kept like in our, like, I guess in our heads we didn't really say anything out loud, but I kept going up and down that same street because I just had like a feeling, and I was like, I think she's like.
well, it's just weird because there's always people like smoking outside of there, and it's like a studio, so there's a lot of artists that are there and things like that, and so there's constantly people in and out. So it just kind of makes the most sense for it to be someone that had seen her, because she basically went down these like back streets that are by our apartment, and it was the day. It was a whole day.
Like, when you handed her to me, like, that was like, okay, that was better than the phone call, because I was just, and she of course was just kind of like, I don't know what's going on.
No, she was
like,
in shock too.
She was like,
because she was
happened?
like, I've seen Puka when she's like ridden in a car before, and she was like literally like her like head was right here like the whole way in the car. Like, she was just so happy to like see someone that she knew and feel better. And then I think she's, and from what you told me too, she's like traumatized.
She's still, yeah, well, and her paws are like really roughed up, like her pads are like coming off, but we like took her to the vet, she got microchipped.
Yeah.
She's like okay, they did blood work and like test on her, and she's fine.
That would be my biggest advice after this learning experience, is to make sure that your dog is in a really secure leash. And this is really hard for little dogs, because the ones that are made for little dogs are always these tiny little dainty things.
Yeah.
And that's like so tricky. Duke has not a good harness either, so we have now like both ordered new harnesses. Of course, they were too friggin' big, so we're waiting for the smaller one to come. And to have your dog microchip, like Duke is like allergic, so he breaks out really bad from collars, and a lot of dogs don't like keeping them on in the first place. I feel like especially city dogs, because they're divas.
And well, that's the thing about Puka, like even my dogs like back at home, like at my parents' house, like hate their collars.
Oh really?
And yeah, and so Puka's collar had her ID tag on it, but she never wears it, and I'm just, in your head, you're just never thinking it's gonna happen to you.
No.
But it 100% can.
Yeah.
And she was too tiny to get microchipped for so long, and then, I mean, I don't know, as soon as they're like big enough, just do it. Just do it. Just pay.
I know it's weird, and I know that it's super like creepy, but honestly, like if they took Puka to the vet, and she was too young to get microchipped before this, but Abby was just like, just do it, because we would have found out that someone had her like
hours before.
Literally hours before, like 3 hours before, if even maybe more. So it was just one of those things where definitely learn from this that I think that there's not really that many solutions other than having like a really great harness.
And even if a shelter had found her, or someone brought her to a shelter, they would have been able to like scan her and see that she was someone and like contact me.
Yeah.
And before, it was us contacting each shelter being like, have you seen this dog?
Well, and like trying to describe the dog.
And they're like I don't know, like maybe, like nothing. But
so yeah, that was our Thursday that kind of like made it for a dysfunctional Vlogmas, but we're back on schedule now. This weekend was a super party weekend after that. But yeah, I just wanted to share with y'all because I feel like a lot of people were asking too, what happened? It's obviously a long story to explain.
yeah.
So she's safe and sound. She's a little traumatized, but she's good.
Yeah, has not left my side.
Yeah.
But she's happy again-ish. She's good.
I feel like once things are like normal too, like her playing with Duke and stuff will make her feel better.
I think, yeah, and it's gonna have to be like a slowly like taking her outside is gonna be like,
yeah. Once she has like this harness that we got, I think it'll be better.
yeah, when we got her one of those leashes that lock, which I think everyone would just have now. And also, if you think that your dog would not run,
you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Because both of our dogs
just think it's a game.
Yeah.
They just think it's a game.
And that's what the vet had even said. She was like, we've heard so many stories of this because dogs literally just think it's a game and they're like ready to play.
Yeah.
And so they just go.
And I feel like their owners just don't think they won't go, but
they will.
Yeah. But thank you so much for watching this Storytime edition of Vlogmas, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.